Ladies and gentlemen, you know what toxic people really want? They want you tangled up in their chaos. They feed off your reaction, your defense, your frustration. And the more you give them, the stronger they get. But here's the shift that changes everything. Stop playing their game. Think about it. Every time someone pushes your buttons, you have two options. You can push back and step right into the mess, or you can step out and refuse to play. That's where your power is. See, toxic people don't actually control you. They only control the space you give them. And the moment you realize you don't owe them your energy, your explanations, or your reactions, that's when the game is over. This doesn't mean you're weak, passive, or avoiding conflict. No, it means you're strong enough to choose peace over chaos. It means you can stand firm without being dragged into their storm. Because here's the truth. When you stop reacting, they lose their power. Their words just noise. Their drama just a show. And you're calm, centered, unshaken. So the next time a toxic person comes at you, remember the shift. You don't need to fight. You don't need to prove. You don't need to explain. You just stop playing. You don't need to control them. You need to control you. That's the mental shift that changes everything when it comes to dealing with toxic people. Most of the time, we spend so much energy trying to figure out how to stop someone else's behavior. We rehearse conversations in our head. We think of clever comebacks. We try to change how they act, and we stress about what they might do next. But here's the truth. None of that is in your control. You can't force someone to respect you. You can't make them treat you better. And you can't convince a toxic person to suddenly stop being toxic. The only thing you can actually control is you, your response, your mindset, and your peace. Toxic people thrive when you hand them your energy. They want the reaction, the argument, the frustration. It gives them power. But the moment you decide, I don't need to control them, I only need to control me, the whole game shifts. You stop letting their words set the tone for your emotion. You stop letting their actions dictate how you feel about yourself. You stop giving them permission to live rent-free in your mind. And the best part, when you control yourself, they lose the grip they thought they had on you. Think about it this way. Imagine someone throws you a ball. Normally, you catch it, throw it back, and the game keeps going. That's what toxic people want. Back and forth chaos. But what happens if you just don't catch the ball? You let it drop. The game ends. That's the power of controlling yourself instead of trying to control them. You don't have to argue. You don't have to explain. You don't have to match their energy. You just decide that your peace is more valuable than their drama. And this doesn't mean you're ignoring problems or letting people walk all over you. Controlling yourself actually makes you stronger. It means you can set boundaries without yelling. It means you can walk away without guilt. It means you can stay calm when someone else is losing it. That calm isn't weakness. It's strength. It's the kind of strength that says, I choose peace over chaos. I choose clarity over confusion. I choose control over reaction. Here's the beautiful part. When you stop focusing on changing them, you gain back all the energy you are wasting. You can pour that energy into your own growth, your own goals, your own happiness. Toxic people can no longer distract you from the life you're building because you're too busy building it. That's real freedom. Well, the next time a toxic person tries to bait you, remember you don't need to control them. You need to control you. Don't catch the ball. Don't play the game. Don't hand over your peace, because the truth is, their power ends where your self-control begins. And when you stand firm in that, they can't touch you. They can only watch as you walk away stronger, calmer, and completely unshaken. Toxic people thrive on reaction. Silence is your strength. The truth is, their entire strategy depends on pulling you into their storm. They poke, they provoke, they push buttons until they get what they want, your energy. When you argue, defend, or even try to reason with them, you're feeding their appetite for control. But when you respond with silence, calm, steady, unbothered silence, you starve their need for attention. You take away the very fuel that keeps their behavior alive. Silence doesn't mean weakness. It doesn't mean you don't have the words, or that you're avoiding conflict. Silence is strength because it's intentional. It's the decision to not let someone else dictate your energy. It's you saying, I'm not giving you what you came for. And here's the power in that. People expect you to react. Toxic people especially rely on that. But when you break the cycle with silence, it throws them off balance. They don't know what to do with someone who refuses to engage in their game. Think about a fire. If you throw wood on it, it blazes higher. If you leave it alone, it burns out. Your silence is the water on that fire. Without your reaction, their drama fizzles. That doesn't mean you never speak up, but it does mean you're wise about when and how. Sometimes the strongest thing you can say is nothing at all, because silence speaks volume. It communicates that you are not controlled, not shaken, not interested in their chaos. This isn't easy at first. Everything in you wants to defend yourself, to prove your point, to win the argument. But ask yourself, what do you actually win when you react? A few seconds of relief, a comeback that feels good but leaves you drained. Toxic people don't walk away thinking, wow, you're right. They walk away satisfied because you played their game. Silence, though, is not playing. It's choosing peace over performance. It's choosing clarity over chaos. It's choosing yourself. Silence also gives you space to think. When you don't react immediately, you get to respond intentionally later if needed. You're not speaking from anger or frustration, but from clarity and strength. That makes your words carry more weight when you do decide to use them. Silence isn't the absence of power, it's the sharpening of it. It's you holding your ground without wasting your breath. Here's the most important part. Silence protects your peace. Toxic people are loud, messy, and exhausting. Your silence is a shield that keeps their chaos from invading your inner calm. It reminds you that not everything deserves your energy. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table. And not every battle is worth fighting. You win by not showing up to fights that drain you. So the next time someone tries to pull you in with their negativity, remember, toxic people thrive on reaction. Silence is your strength. Let them rant. Let them twist. Let them spin. You don't have to join. Because in the end, silence doesn't just protect your peace. It takes away their power. And there is nothing more disarming to toxicity than someone who refuses to feed it. Detachment is not weakness, it's power. Most people confuse detachment with not caring, but that's not what it is. Detachment doesn't mean you stop loving people, stop respecting yourself, or stop valuing relationships. It means you no longer let someone else's behavior control your emotions or dictate your peace. It's the ability to step back and say, I see what you're doing, but I don't have to carry it with me. That's not indifference. That's strength. Toxic people want you hooked. They want you invested in their drama, tangled in their emotions, and tied up in their games. The more attached you are to their chaos, the easier you are to manipulate.